In 1990, I did a film called Buried Alive in Johannesburg. Mandela was in prison, and we were in the midst of apartheid. And I just remember that there was a shower scene in the film, and the directors strategically scheduled this nude scene on my 18th birthday because nudity under 18 is illegal. And I was in the shower, and they're like, "Happy birthday." And they're like, "Are you sure you don't want to drop your towel?" And I said, "I'm really sure I don't want to drop my towel." And that was sort of the first time when I realized how important it is to protect yourself as an actress, to be able to say no, to be able to feel safe in the environment and know who you can trust. There was a lot of sexism going on, and I felt, that I was on the verge of being taken advantage of, but I was able to maneuver my way through it, get the work done, and move on. And thank God for John Singleton. John Singleton put me on the map. He saw something in me that no one else had seen. I miss him dearly. I can hear his laugh in my head. And what he did for the culture, it was a shift. It was the beginning of greatness. It was the beginning of Black cinematic beauty. It was showing a side of history, a side of life for Black people that we hadn't really seen. And I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in South Central Los Angeles. So when I saw this script that said Boys in the Hood, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, here comes a white man trying to write a story about us. And I said to my agent, I said, "Who's the writer?" And she said, "John Singleton." And I said, "Well, who is he?" And she said, "He's a USC graduate. He's the next big thing." I met John Singleton. I just remember it being really rainy, and I had this audition in the middle of some small office space very close to where I lived in South Central, and there John Singleton was. And we started talking, and he wanted to know how I was raised and where I was from. And the thing about John Singleton, and this is why I'm such a stickler about lighting, John Singleton knew the importance of not just telling the written story, but the visual story. John Singleton understood that when an actress is lit beautifully, she shines in a way that you can never replicate in post. Shantae is like, I'm very protective of her. I just remember the first day I met her, we had a fitting, and she walked into the room and she was like, "Hi." And she's like, "I'm playing your daughter." And I was like, oh my God, you're like 5 inches taller than me. Because that's the first thing I always see is that I'm probably like the shortest person in the room. What I saw in that moment was an artist who was excited about the beginning of her career. And it made me think of myself, and it made me try to share with her everything that I know, the mistakes, the good stuff, the funky stuff, in those quiet moments on set, because no one gives you a handbook. No one tells you what you're up against. And I'm so happy that I got a chance to do that film with her, because she was really perfect for the role. And there was an instant chemistry between us and our parents. It's so odd and such a coincidence that our parents actually know each other. And I just saw her in another film, and she's just so honest. She reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger. I'm thankful for those early years of my career, because those were the years that I learned to protect myself. Those were the years